Alright, fam, long time no see, but today I am here to bring you, in my most rainbowy thing I own, the announcement video for the Queerly Readathon Round 6. So I am a guest host for this round of the readathon, and I'm very excited. I got to come up with some of the challenges. One of them I really love, and I am very excited for you guys to take part in this. The Queerlit Readathon was created by Rogan and Kathy, whose channels I will leave linked in the description down below. It's going to take place from November 29th through December 5th, and it starts at midnight in whatever time zone you are in, so you don't have to stay up until midnight in like another time zone. You don't even have to stay up until midnight in your time zone. You can just do it when you wake up. That's probably what I'm gonna do, to be honest. So those are the dates. And then if you are looking forward to our personal TBRs, you can expect those on November 13th. Some, I guess, housekeeping, you would say. All of your videos that you make for the Queerlit Readathon need to be captioned. Why do they need to be captioned? Well, one, it's a good practice to get into because lots of people like captioned videos. But number two, and most importantly, one of the creators, Rogan, is deaf. So he literally cannot hear you. So definitely caption your videos so he knows what you're saying. And yeah, just caption your videos. And now for the challenges. Now, you don't have to do any of the challenges to participate in the readathon, but isn't that sort of the point of a readathon, is to do the challenges? Obviously, the point of this readathon is to read queer books, and if you find that none of the queer books that you want to read fit these categories, even though they can fit one, they can definitely fit one. No matter, regardless of whatever you want to read, they can fit one, and you'll see why. But yeah, you don't have to do the challenges if you don't want to. But anyway, the challenges are, number one, background romance. So read a book where the romance is not the central part of the book. So obviously no romance books, because that's literally all romance books are about. But also no like fantasy or sci-fi that like leans heavily on the romance. Like none of that. Pick a book where there's background romance, if any romance. Next is to read the group book, which the group book I'm very excited about, and it's The Summer of Everything by Julian Winters. This book is supposed to be really cute. I can't wait to read it, and Julian Winters obviously deserves the world. So if you can buy it, go ahead and buy it, preferably through an independent bookstore. But if you can't buy it, it should be available at your library, either in physical form or through Overdrive. We checked, and Overdrive should have it, so if your library has Overdrive, you should be able to read it, and you don't have to pay for it, because libraries are awesome. Next is to read an adult fiction or nonfiction book. This literally can be whatever, as long as it has queer characters and it's adult fiction or nonfiction. You could read an adult memoir about a queer person, and that would count. You could read an adult fantasy with a main queer character, and that would count. You can read whatever the fuck you want to read for this challenge, as long as it has it's adult and it has queer characters. So it's pretty easy. Next is the easiest challenge, and was the challenge I mentioned that you can participate in regardless of whatever you're reading, and that's to choose your own challenge. You can make the challenge whatever the fuck you want it to be. So you got a book you really want to read, make a challenge for it, there you go. It's real easy, just tell us what it is in your TBR video. The next challenge is a non-coming out story. So, just a book that isn't about coming out. So you can't read like Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda for this challenge, because that is a coming out story. Just choose a book that is about a queer character, but the queer character isn't concerned with coming out, so it's not a coming out story. The next book is to read a book with an ace or aro main character. If you somehow are not aware, ace means asexual, aro means aromantic. So read a book with either a just asexual character, a just aromantic character, or an aromantic asexual character. All three work. All three are valid. Read a book with a character that shares one of those identities. Obviously, I'm very excited as an ace person to read more ace books. But the next challenge is my favorite challenge and the one that I'm most looking forward to seeing what everybody picks for, and that is to read a book with a trans character who has not medically transitioned or has no desire to medically transition. This one is really important to me because I feel like we really need more non-transition stories from trans characters, and I feel like we specifically need books about characters who haven't medically transitioned at all. They can have socially transitioned, meaning that they use the correct name and pronouns, but they haven't taken any hormones and they haven't gotten any surgeries. And so I feel like this is really important because I just feel like it's a pretty underrepresented group, even though, like, a lot of trans people haven't medically transitioned yet because they don't have the means to, i.e. me. I haven't medically transitioned yet, despite my wants to, because I can't afford it right now. So sometimes I feel like an inferior trans person because all of the trans books that I read have characters that have transitioned. And isn't being trans all about transitioning? No, it is not. So anyway, I just really like this challenge, and I really am curious to see what everybody is going to pick for it. And if you can't figure out a book to pick for it, I can help you with that, either in the comments down below, or you can wait until I make my recommendations video, which I don't have a set date for that because I don't know when I'm going to film it, but it'll be before the readathon. The next challenge is to see yourself. So basically for this challenge, you're going to find a book that has a character like you that you see yourself in, and you're going to read it. This is really easy for queer people. You can just pick a book with the same sexuality as the character. And if you're not queer, pick a book with the same, like, nationality or race, or I guess interests even would work. So yeah, just see yourself in a character. The next one is to read an Own Voices book. So by this, you have to read a book about a character with an identity that the author shares with that character. So not only is Cemetery Boys great because it's about a trans character by a trans author, meaning it's great for this readathon, but it's also by a Latinx author about a Latinx character. So you got two identities that the author shares with that character, and it's lit. The next challenge is to read a book with a BIPOC MC. So BIPOC stands for Black, Indigenous, People of Color. It's pretty self-explanatory. Read a book with a Black, Indigenous person of color main character. Preferably an Own Voices one. There you go. You're knocking out 2 challenges already with that one book. I'm just saying. Next is winter vibes, which I can't tell you what gives you winter vibes. It's completely up to you. It's completely subjective. I'm not the challenge police. So if you find a book and you feel like it gives you winter vibes, boom, there you go. You've done this challenge. The next challenge is a host recommendation. So read a book that one of the hosts recommends. I myself am going to be having a recommendations video coming out, so you can read one of those books, or you can check out Kathy and Rogan's channels and see what books they recommend. So any of us work, as long as they're a host and they recommend a book, it counts for this challenge. Next is to read a book with queer friends. So basically, a book with at least 2 queer characters in it that are friends. You can't read a book with just one queer character because you can't be friends with yourself. If it has more than 2 queer characters in it that are friends, even better. But yeah, so just read a book with some queer friends in it. The next challenge is to read a graphic novel. Now, this is not limited to print graphic novels. You can read something on Tapas. You can read something on Webtoon. You can read something on the internet that is not on one of those things. That's also a webcomic. Yeah, you can read a print graphic novel. You can read a print comic if you like to differentiate the two. Just something with art. Online, in print, doesn't matter. The next challenge is to read a retelling, so this could be a Greek mythology retelling, this could be a classics retelling, this could be a popular musical retelling, like anything. As long as it's a retelling of something that's already been told, it's a retelling. And finally is to read a book with a main character that isn't like you, so essentially the opposite of See Yourself. If you are white, I would strongly encourage you to read a book with a BIPOC MC, because then not only are you doing that challenge, you're also doing the Own Voices challenge, hopefully, and you're doing the MC Not Like You challenge. Wow, 3 challenges with 1 book! Amazing. And that's it. Those are all of the challenges. I hope I did a good job explaining them. If you have any questions about them, feel free to ask in the comments and I will do my best to explain. And then if you have any other questions, comments, or concerns about anything that I've mentioned so far, you can also leave that in the comments down below and I will get to it. And remember, caption your videos if you make them regarding this readathon. Just caption your videos in general, but especially for this readathon. So with that reminder, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.